you, Ryan. Pig! I know. Police brutality.
He slapped him! How can he slap?
You okay?
He's just going around slapping! Oh, man. That was such a weird scene! So, like, they're still trying to kill me, though, right? Ryan's accusation. So now I'm supposed to go interview Simon about it?
A few more questions, please. What would you say if I said it's been suggested that you were seen walking home with Kate after Atlas last Friday?
What? By who?
The same person who suggested that you wanted Kate out of the picture because you found out she was in the running to be prime candidate.
Who said that?
Just a question.
I didn't think I was in the running. It was Ryan, wasn't it?
I am in no position to say.
It was Ryan.
Simon, calm down.
No, I can prove it. Kate's driving license, give it to me.
Why?
Kate's driving license, please. See that pattern on the tape there? Let me show you something. See this pattern? Now look at that. It's the same pattern. This has come from the same roll of tape as this.
And it's in your
So
possession?
there's only one person that's tape like that. Ryan. He gave me this piece of tape when I was in his office once. Why has Kate's driving license got a piece of Ryan's tape on it?
I have no idea, Simon.
Where did you find it?
Oh, by the lake.
But it's obvious, isn't it? Ryan was testing her. He was doing a boundary test to see how much she would do, how far she would go to be a prime candidate. But it all went wrong. Okay. It's one of the things we do at the course, right? You give something that's important to you to someone else, then they go and hide it somewhere. It's to teach you
are they
to not
doing?
be bothered when you lose something that's important to you, all right? Kate gives her driving license to Ryan. Ryan goes and hides it somewhere down the lake. Kate finds out, she goes down looking for it, probably drunk, and she falls in.
That's it? She just
I find that a bit
falls
far-fetched,
in and then
It
dies?
makes perfect sense if you know anything at all about how Atlas
But
works.
Simon, if you got the tape from Ryan, Kate could have got it from him.
He told me he doesn't lend it out.
He lent it to you.
But I didn't kill her!
Oh my
Do a lab
god.
test on the card. His DNA will be all
No,
over
I
it.
touched the card.
And what if yours is all over it?
It won't be. I didn't kill her. I'm sorry. Just give me a minute. I need some painkillers.
I need to. Oh! Everybody's got painkillers all of a sudden. Need some opium? Maybe some magic mint, Simon? Yeah, sneak around his house. Look at all his tape rolls. He just left.
Why did he go in such a hurry?
Sneaky Simon.
Trying to act as suspiciously as possible?
He already did. There's nothing more suspicious to do. What's going on on the jetty these days? Jetty Lee, anybody here? No, nobody here. Jenks puts up with so much shit. And he's still got a good attitude about the whole thing, to be honest. He's been mugged, he's been witness to a near stabbing, and put in a lot of really strange moral situations. And yet he still walks around with a good attitude. It's like there's seriously something admirable about Jenks. Rebecca, what do you know about tape?
Ask you a couple more things, please.
What do you know about tape?
Have you seen patterned tape like this anywhere before?
Like on your window, actually,
Oh,
specifically.
Ryan's got some. I know, because I borrowed it.
Nobody
When was
borrows
that?
it. Simon told me no one
months ago?
borrows it.
Have you still got it?
I don't think so. I haven't seen it since then.
What is wrong with all of you? No, you have not seen the tape 2 months ago. You put it on the window. Broken pub window. There you go.
Aha.
Easy as shit in my life.
You last saw that sticky tape 2 months ago. Is that correct?
Yes.
So how come you used it last week to tape over the broken window outside? That's the same tape.
Well, I must have been mistaken.
You see, the reason I'm asking is that it's exactly the same tape that was found attached to Kate's driving license, found at the scene. The tape that only Ryan has. Ryan, and of course, you.
Why did we not make the connection of the
So what's
tape
he
to the
saying?
window earlier?
Who's got the tape now? Do you know where it is?
This is important.
No, I don't know where it is. Why are you asking me about this tape?
You seem nervous, Rebecca. Is there a problem?
Well, you're practically accusing me of having something to do with that woman's murder, aren't you?
I wasn't accusing you of anything, Rebecca. Unless there's something you'd like to tell me.
No, I wouldn't like to tell you anything.
Okay, well, that's fine. Obviously, we'll be swabbing everyone in the area for DNA, so if anything comes up on Kate's license, DNA traces.
What'll come up? Nothing will come up. Right, I've had enough. I've got to get back.
Rebecca! Would you like to explain to me...
The net is closing,
what's
Rebecca. The net is closing
Wait, the
around
fact
you.
that some leggy bitch was trying to steal my husband.
What?
I think you had better tell me what you know, Rebecca.
She's cracked.
Okay, you want to know what I know? Kate Vine seduced my husband and was going to blackmail him. Not only did she sleep with him, that whore did it just for his money, our money.
How did you work that out?
I heard her. I knew it was her arguing with Emma Bowman. Emma was trying to talk her out of it.
And how did she come to be at the lake?
She dropped that driving license thing when she came in. She was drunk. She dropped her bag. I took it out to the woods and stuck it over the lake. Then I waited for her. When she came out, I told her where it was, that someone had just run off into the woods with it.
You led her to the lake.
She was reaching out over the lake to get it. I didn't do anything. She just fell in.
But you let her drown.
It was dark. I couldn't see anything. I couldn't help her.
Really? Did you try, Rebecca?
Well, it was too late. She was just flapping about in the water. It was pathetic. She was making these gurgling sounds.
And what did you do?
I got a big stick. I just pushed her down with it until she stopped.
Oh my god!
Well, she was dead anyway. What did it matter?
What?
You killed her, Rebecca.
But she slept with my husband.
She didn't, Rebecca.
What do you mean?
Rebecca!
You got the wrong girl.
You're not pure anymore, Rebecca.
Who? Emma. It was Emma.
Rebecca Rand, I am arresting you for the murder of Kate Vine. You do not have to say anything, but anything you do say may be taken down and will be used in evidence against you. Do you understand?
Yes.
So, it appears that Kate Vine's death was a tragic case of mistaken identity. But there are some loose threads here. What was Ryan doing with Kyle and that girl in the woods? What if I hadn't interrupted? And what really happened to Liam last year? It seems I've only scratched the surface of Atlas and the Rand business empire. Trying to find out about Paul Rand's past is like peering into dense fog. He gives nothing away and covers his tracks with military efficiency. However, what is known is that Paul Rand has a lot of connections in high places, politicians, celebrities, business leaders. Perhaps James Wilson's ideas weren't too wide of the mark after all.
They're lizard people!
There's still a lot more to learn about the Rand business empire.
You're gonna have to excuse us. Atlas is closed for the moment, but we'll be open again very soon. Thank you for your interest.
They put a hit out on me, though. Is that not relevant to a police inspector? He literally heard the guy say, kill him. Oh, man. That was a hell of a ride. So the story of this game is, the story surrounding the creation of this game is that this was a game that was funded and almost didn't get finished as far as I know. It was actually quite arduous and laborious, apparently, putting this all together. The developer wanted to make a sequel, but he didn't really want to go through the process again. So there is the chance that there might be a sequel to this someday. And I sincerely hope there is, but I don't know if it'll actually come to be. Either way, bravo! Yeah, funded by Kickstarter. There you go. That was a hell of a ride. I just want more Jenks, man! He's acted in so few things! What? Completed game with no cheats. I got a lot of achievements. We hope you enjoyed playing Contradiction. This is an experimental independent game made on a tiny budget. If you liked it, please leave a review of the game and make yourself heard. Your support is vital if we were to raise funding for a sequel. There you go. No cheats. I'm not a cheater. Not like Rebecca or Emma, for that matter. More like Emma, really, but... Geez, of all the people, I thought Rebecca was probably the coolest cucumber out of the group, don't you? I'm a little surprised. This game's also from 2015. Yeah, but it takes a while to make stuff. Although I think they said most of the filming for the prior one took place over about 2 weeks. Can't trust the moist eyes. I don't know, like, everybody was guilty of a few things in that. I didn't expect Rebecca, though. I guess because they all seemed so guilty all the time. Except for maybe James. I didn't peg James for a murderer, I just figured he was a drug dealer and he was kind of cool with that. That was kind of his whole story. I definitely thought Kyle could have been a murderer, but we didn't see him enough for him to have been a real factor. I didn't really think Simon was probably responsible either, but I didn't really know what was up with Simon. I couldn't read him very well. Didn't you mention the tape earlier? Oh, there's a lot of stuff that, like, story-wise would have been relevant, but they didn't get into. Progress 96%. Apparently I missed 4%. I must have missed a couple of things I could have clicked on. Or, contradictions, I mean. Yeah, it was actually really obvious. When you have very few clues at the very beginning of the game, and the window is one of the first things you talk about, and you have the driver's license, which you get to see when you click on it every single time. You see the tape, and they showed a picture of the broken window with the tape on it. That seems like you would go, what's up with that? But you never do until the end of the game. But yeah, as we went through the whole thing, I just kind of kept pointing out stuff. I was like, well, this is a contradiction. But they just didn't have time, I guess, to film every possible angle that they could have had dialogue for. Or, like, maybe they had to prune back some of the stuff because it was just making the whole plot too convoluted. And it was like, well, we have all these contradictions we could use, but rather than rewrite the way it was filmed and the way it was said, we kind of just have to disregard some of the phrasing. It's probably asking the remaining people about the tape. Oh, yeah, it probably is that, actually. Because I did go right to Rebecca with it, because I knew the window. And how funny that at the end of the whole story, it was really the tape that cracked the case, and not anything to do with any of the other stuff. All of those loose ends. And it was the simplest thing. Something kind of nice about that. Something kind of elegant about going straight to the simplest of plot points. Maybe they didn't plan that ending, but had to go with it because of the budget. It did seem sudden, didn't it? Like they were going to go into much deeper detail with, like, the hit being put out on Jenks and all that, and then it just sort of resolved all of a sudden. I guess I just figured after you saw Paul kind of, like, close up, right? Like, he's gone away again. Lisa never came back again, which I really thought she should have at least once more. And then Ryan was just, like, out in the woods, and I assume then he probably went back in the house with Paul, because Atlas was closed at midnight with the chain over it. So that was off the table. That one location in that like other little community center spot, like, only once was it even used, because he found a poster, and the left side of the restaurant was used only once as well, and the first segment of the town where Lisa's house is was only used once. It's kind of funny how that goes. And we never got to find out about the costume shop. That seemed like an obvious place we would go to visit and question somebody. They said it was outside of town, though, so I guess, that would have been a bit odd. They had to kind of constrain everything to this one street. And I'm sure there's, like, a bunch of other things that they did that they should have probably called the police on. Were we just okay with those poppies just being there? Like, I don't know. I guess he just was more concerned about the major case and not, like, where it went branching off. Yeah, I am glad he slapped Kyle. He deserved a good slap. Am I transitioning immediately into Dr. Decker? No, not today. He's selling them to grannies. I know, that was a weird excuse that he's selling them to grannies. Like, what? How would you come up with that? And then the whole story about the drugs in general didn't actually go anywhere. We were going down this red herring trail for, like, the whole game. It kept getting bigger and broader in scope, and more people were involved, and the allegations got more serious. And it was just, no, Rebecca just pushed her under with a stick. And that was that. It was very strange. I guess that's sort of the, playing up the pattern-seeking elements of the mind kind of thing, right? Like, we're going where the facts lead, but ultimately, it's like Occam's razor. It just was as simple as it was. It was just a mistaken identity. Actually, kind of funny that Jenks said that in the outro. He's like, it's just a case of mistaken identity, which sort of presupposes that... I know that's not what he meant, but in a way, he was saying... if it was the correct identity, then he should have murdered Emma. like Lisa, or, yeah, she was only killed because it was just a mistake. It was really not meant for her to be the one that was killed. Can they blame Atlas for Kate sleeping with the woman, her husband, because they made her lose morals? Oh, I don't know. Do you know anything about Salvia Divinorum? Probably. 10 out of 10. There you go. They didn't do much to end other characters' stories due to budget issues. Ah, it's a shame. It was so entertaining. I really just wish there was more of it, really. I mean, not complaining. There was plenty of it. It was a good, meaty story to get into, but I enjoyed the characters. I wish they lied to me a little less. There was no upstanding citizen, really, throughout that whole thing. They all had their problems. But ain't that life? Alice had this whole thing about making people ruthless, go for greed, and she slept with the guy for the money. Huh. Yeah, I guess when you put it that way, it does kind of make a little sense. Drunk guy was pure, yeah, I guess he was. He showed up at just the right moments. Are you on a drug? I could have sworn I told you to play Bloodborne today. What? Can we replay the Ryan contradiction with the drink? Oh, where he throws it everywhere? Was it just the last one? Why is there 2 6s? There should be 3 6s if there's any.
You say you don't endorse threshold testing?
What?
That's the phrase, isn't it?
Yes.
Hang on. Can I...
You say you
No, it doesn't
don't
go away.
endorse...
Oh, I'm still in that. Okay. How do I... Can I not watch it without that in the way? Oh. Call the chief. Tell him the story's over. Oh, this is weird. It let me move once, but not again. Now it's locked. Won't let me do anything else. So they just got to the end, and that was that. I guess I'll just reload it. It's saved, so... I think it reset the audio again. Oh, no, it didn't.
You say you don't endorse threshold testing? That's the phrase, isn't it?
Yes.
Except you do, Paul. Because you told me that the students use that CD in the mirror room. I've listened to that CD.
This is not the right one. Why did I do that?
So, students aren't coerced or bribed in any way. Except Kate.
I'm not sure what you mean.
Get ready.
You said you were going to give Kate the £500 as an incentive. That's coercion, isn't it?
I really don't think you could call it coercion, Inspector. It was an incentive, that's all, a little encouragement.
So, how often do you use incentives?
Okay, incentive is probably the wrong word. The money was just to see how Kate would respond. It was part of her assessment.
Assessment?
We have to assess students as they progress. We don't use conventional methods like sitting an exam or anything like that. People pay for this course per session. We have to know if they're committed or not.
So you're assessing their progress and testing their commitment?
Yes, we are. We have to. This is a business, not a charity.
Oh, no. What? He didn't get mad enough. It was number 5? Oh.
So the storeroom isn't particularly secure, yet you keep your morphine tablets in there. I thought you said no one could get access to the
this isn't
morphine.
it either.
But they could, quite easily, couldn't they, Ryan?
I didn't mean that storeroom. I meant a different storeroom. I keep them in there.
Okay. So where was it locked up?
It's upstairs. It's got a combination lock on it. Nobody could have access to it except me and Dad. Nobody.
I might have a look at that if you don't mind.
Don't mind at all.
Oh, that's a shame. We can't watch that over again, I guess. We just gotta watch the clip over and over in our hearts. Simon drops things. They made sure to have that one in there. It's actually quite a few clips. Thank you, Infogrames Radar, for the year of resubscriptions. Someone took a clip of it. Okay. Yeah, I've got 100% now. So I did good. It may have just not been able to update that last few percentage because it just was doing the ending stuff and it just conflicted or something. It's all good. Yeah, someone clipped it. That's such a weird way he discovers stuff over there every single time.
Just keep pushing. Keep pushing.
This is also just a bizarre scene. I want to see Kyle get slapped one more time.
Prove to me that you're man enough to do this, Kyle, and then you can deal with that ridiculous police inspector.
What is this? What the hell? Scotland Yard, not hell. Hello, Ryan.
Hello, Inspector. What are you doing here?
Inspecting. So, come on. Let's have it.
I don't think you'd understand, Inspector. The best thing that you can do is turn around, go away, and leave us to it.
Knife.
What?
That knife gives me a perfect right to stick my nose in, investigate, and interfere.
This
That's such a doctor
is all part
thing
of
to
the
say
Atlas
that way.
course. It's a physical
And
endurance
interfere.
exercise.
Drop the knife. The knife, Kyle!
Kyle.
Drop it!
Drop it.
Not looking 100% brilliant for you, Ryan.
Well, please, Inspector, you've poked your nose into Atlas's affairs enough times to know that imaginative flair is part of the course's success. Our lessons are reinforced by a unique emotional experience.
Terror?
It's an extremely evocative tool.
Well, it's a good job you're not in charge of the national curriculum.
Now look, Inspector, I know what you're trying to do. I know what you're thinking. But believe me, Atlas had nothing to do with the deaths of those people.
Eyewitness account of a satanic sacrifice in the woods. That's not what we call circumstantial evidence, Ryan.
Simon. Now, I saw Simon walking home with Kate last Friday after the meeting. Now, Simon had some strange idea that he was in the running to become prime candidate. Well, a knob of butter has more chance of becoming prime minister. Oh, wait.
So are you telling me that...
Simon killed her? Well, it seems reasonable. It's likely, isn't it?
Any more likely than you, Ryan?
Yeah, they never show us who the girl is, I don't think.
Pig!
Oh, here it comes. Get ready. Bam!
I know. Police brutality. It's all right. Are you okay?
He's like, what? Kids nowadays. Can't live with him, can't live without him. It's a very satisfying slap. Yeah, he's just going around slapping. Alright, that was a lot of fun. Well, that's gonna be it for today, I suppose. We didn't quite leave ourselves with enough time to do another segment.